Hello YouTube and people of the interwebs, welcome back to another Doctor Who video. Now first off, sorry for speaking slightly quietly, it's currently 2 AM and I don't want to wake up any of my housemates, but we have some very exciting Doctor Who stuff to talk about today. That's right, the first official reviews of Doctor Who's 60th anniversary's first episode, The Star Beast, which see the return of David Tennant and Cathrine Tate, are officially out now. In this video, I'm going to break down the most positive and most negative reviews so far, because yeah, it's very, very interesting. So strap yourselves in, and as this video plays out, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Let me know what you're excited for, because this episode is set to air this Saturday, the 25th, which is only a matter of days. And I mean, we've been waiting for it for so long, I really hope it lives up to expectations, but yeah, as I say, let's get straight into reading the reviews. So, our first review here is from Emily Murray, over at Games Radar. Doctor Who The Star Beast review, an exciting start to the 60th anniversary specials, and notably, she has given it 4 stars out of 5, which is pretty good. It's not 5 stars, but is there anything that's ever truly perfect? I don't know. Anyway, we'll get into the review. Emily discusses whether this episode actually lives up to the hype, because there is an insane amount of hype riding on this story, and she says that thankfully, the answer is a resounding yes. The Star Beast kickstarts a whole new era of Doctor Who with style, providing a warm embrace for the already dedicated Whovians and welcoming with open arms those who are new to the widely adored show, much like how Davies gave the show a new lease of life in 2005 with that exciting relaunch. Okay, so first up, that's fantastic news. I know a lot of people have been worried that because this sort of Disney Plus era of Doctor Who is kind of supposed to be a jumping on point for a lot of fans, especially people in other countries like America who are going to get Doctor Who or watch Doctor Who for the first time on Disney Plus. They want this new era to be a perfect jumping on point, and yeah, already we're being told that this episode is good for not just new fans, but old fans as well. It balances the two things well, and in a second it explains how, because when you think about it, the Doctor and Donna and the whole noble family, there is like a lot of baggage there from prior seasons. But apparently you don't have to have watched the prior seasons. Obviously, it will enrich your viewing experience, but admittedly, the episode does get off to a strange start, with both the Doctor and Donna addressing the camera directly, breaking the fourth wall to speak to the audience. Now that is incredibly interesting, because there's only one instance of Doctor Who, no, 2 instances of Doctor Who doing that I can think of. One being way back in like the Feast of Stephen, William Hartnell, 60 years ago era of Doctor Who, where the Doctor just turns to the camera and wishes everyone at home a Merry Christmas, which is bizarre. And then the other one, I guess you'd say in Under the Lake Before the Flood, 12th Doctor has this little monologue about Beethoven's Fifth, but it's a very unusual thing for Doctor Who to do. I guess they're kind of talking about, in a similar vein to how, at the start of Series 5, Amy does the intro where she's like, "When I was young, I had an imaginary friend, and I don't know why I'm doing a Yorkshire accent, because she's Scottish." But you get the idea. Anyway, interesting start. Whilst certainly unusual, the pair briefly recapping previous events works well, giving newcomers everything they need to know going into this special episode. So yeah, as I say, that's how we're going to get this exposition given to us in quite a concise, simple way, directly from the Doctor and Donna's mouths, which is quite interesting. And if you happen to be an expert on Doctor Who lore, this history lesson doesn't overstay its welcome. Instead, it immediately captures our attention, setting the scene in a curious manner, hooking us right in. Okay, I wonder whether it's going to have any sort of narrative significance. Are the Doctor and Donna talking to someone else when they say this, or are they literally just staring down the barrel of the camera, technically non-canon, going on? I don't know, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I'm very intrigued to see how that works. It's a risk that pays off, but that's Davies' filmmaking in a nutshell. Whilst fans celebrate the announcement of his return, describing the showrunner as a safe pair of hands, that's actually one thing Davies never does, play it safe. That's exciting to hear. I'm glad that this isn't just like sort of paint-by-numbers Doctor Who, something that we've seen 101 times. This does seem to be a really nice familiar start to the new era, while still being bold, different and new, which is, yeah, what's being said in this review. Exciting stuff. He's one of the best in the business due to how much he pushes the boundaries and breaks the rules, which is what he does again with the Star Beast. Sure, we do see the Doctor and co fighting off aliens, but the story dives much deeper than that, exploring more complex themes relating to identity, all of which are beautifully handled with a sensitive touch. Many of the characters may be otherworldly, but Davies understands that ultimately Doctor Who is a very human show. Now, this has been something that Russell has said since, the first episode of Doctor Who Confidential back in 2005. He says that, why Doctor Who often gets called, soap opera or space opera is because of that focus on character and human emotions rather than big fighty aliens, which I personally prefer. I love a good character drama, so I think this episode's going to have a lot in store for everybody to enjoy. Central to that is new addition Yasmin Finney, the trans trailblazer from beloved drama Heartstopper, who portrays Rose, the daughter of Donna and Sean Noble. From the moment she appears on screen, Finney brings a warmth to the episode, fitting right in with the Noble family, who remain endearingly hapless as ever. I'm glad that they're still, having their complicated family dramas. I really hope Wilfred shows up in the first episode. We know he's somewhere within these 3 specials, which is lucky because, sadly Bernard Cribbins passed away during filming, but he's in there somewhere, which is really exciting, and I can't wait to see his last performance. I'm sure it's going to be fab. But Tate steps right back into Donna's shoes like she never left, chattering away at 1,000,000 miles per hour, delivering the exact right level of sarcasm and comic relief. This is an incredibly fun episode, with much of that coming down to Tate's quick wit as Donna. I think just like in Series 4, a lot of the comedy is going to come from the Doctor and Donna's interactions, particularly Donna's over-exaggerated sense of drama and excitement to see all this stuff. Really exciting. And then, of course, there's the Doctor himself. Now, this is something I've wondered about for quite a while. How much is the 14th Doctor going to be like the 10th Doctor, and how well is it going to sort of gel? Because the 10th Doctor was very much a product of, post-Time War drama. And now, he's been Jodie Whittaker, he's been Peter Capaldi, he's been Matt Smith. So where does all of that take him? Tenant's addictive energy is radiating from the screen the minute he steps out of the TARDIS, all wide-eyed, ready to jump right into action. As charismatic as ever, you are reminded why Tenantt is a fan favourite, but crucially, here he is playing the 14th Doctor, not the 10th Doctor, so there are new edges to remind us that this isn't quite the character we know. It's an interesting challenge that the actor has been presented with, but one that he more than rises to the occasion for. That's all my hopes and dreams come true. I want it to be the 10th Doctor because there'd be no point in bringing back David Tennant without doing a bit 10th Doctor stuff, but I do, even in the Children in Need special, which came out on Friday, I thought he was doing a similar sort of vibe to Jodie at parts, where he was like, you're my new best friends, and flapping his hands around. Very Jodie Whittaker, which is nice, because you've got to remember, continuity-wise, he was Jodie Whittaker, but a mere half an hour before this episode takes place. Anyway, another notable change this time round is the budget, as Doctor Who now has that sweet, sweet Disney money to play with. The special effects and visuals have therefore never looked better, with all the stops being pulled out to bring meat to screen. That's really cool. Beep the Meep is... I can't wait. It's going to look fab. Especially CGI and all of that stuff. I reckon it's going to look like a Disney Plus show. Obviously, Disney Plus are funding it, but all the Marvel things like Loki, which usually there's no real wonky effects in there. The only Marvel show I can kind of think of with wonky effects was She-Hulk, but I don't know. I think this will be fine. But Miriam Margolyes is said to be brilliant, and her character's cheeky and adorable. And obviously, if you know the comic that this episode is an adaptation of, you will know what happens with the Meep, which I'm not going to spoil in case people don't know that. But from the reviews, it's apparent that this is happening. That is where this story goes, which is really exciting. Whilst it is glossier than it has ever been, the Star Beast never once forgets the humble beginnings that it came from. The love the filmmakers have for Doctor Who is ever present. That's really cool. They do go on to say that one of the weaker parts of the episode is the conclusion, because it's a shame that the ending does feel rushed, almost like they were racing to the finish line, which ultimately does take away from the emotional impact of the tender conclusion. Perhaps it would have been better to trim away the middle acts so that the gorgeous finale can have more room to breathe. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of typical Doctor Who for you, innit? Like, in it, I just said in it in a video. I never normally say that. But, yeah, no, it's classic Doctor Who, rushing it at the finale, which is a bit of a shame, but, yeah, I'm going to reserve judgment till I've actually seen the episode, but that does make sense. And I do think where Russell T Davies, it's not the weakest part, it's not the weak part of his writing, because that sounds too harsh. His writing is fantastic. Love his writing, but, yeah, the weaker elements of his writing is usually the conclusion, like trying to wrap stuff up. He can do it brilliantly for character drama, but just the pacing and the actual wrap-up of the episode, I can understand why that's rushed. Yeah, it always seems to happen. But yeah, they go on to say, thrilling, really exciting, really good news there, I can't lie. That's a really glowing review. That's the first one I found as well. 4 stars out of 5 isn't bad. It does sound like it's introducing us to this new era really, really nicely. However, not everything is so positive, because this miserable man, Neil Armstrong, I'm sure you're lovely, Neil. I just think you're a little bit worked up on gender politics and have a little bit of a right-wing spin to the way you write. But anyway, Neil says that David Tennant and Cathrine Tate return in the Star Beast, the first of Doctor Who's 60th anniversary specials. He talks about introductions to the episode, etc., but I'll skip all of that because we all know that. I've been over it in this video. But he says, if you can measure Who episodes on a scale that runs from whimsical to terrifying, this is very much at the whimsical end of the range. There's a twist you can see coming from galaxies away, and the comedy consists mostly of Donna shouting, "What the hell?" So yeah, that's quite negative. I mean, yeah, there has to be balance. Obviously, no episode of TV is going to be for everyone, but this does sound like it's maybe nothing new, despite the first review promising that it does feel fresh. This sounds like it's same old, same old. In fact, it's difficult to even imagine the most favourite fan being anything other than a little underwhelmed by this first special, is what he says, which that's not a glowing review at all, and that is a bit of a shame. Now, when I did read that initially, I was kind of like, oh dear, maybe this episode isn't going to live up to expectations. However, when you carry on reading his review, I do think it, hinges on his political beliefs rather than it being a bad episode of television. If you love Doctor Who, you'll probably enjoy it. Tennant's Doctor is still a charismatic charmer, but if you've been indifferent to Who, this won't be the episode to convert you. And if you're altogether new to the show, you'll probably wonder what all the fuss has been about. Once again, not looking positive here. And although the show has always been progressive, here we go, the right-wing politics kicks into the review. Look at the number of stories over the decades about, for example, threats to the environment. This special is preachy, and by the end, little more than a delivery system for the message. Okay, yeah, here we go. Obviously, I am going to reserve judgment till I have watched the episode. I can't speak on behalf of that, but I don't like that comment. It kind of irks me. It makes me feel like this reviewer is coming at this not from a place of genuine criticism, but because I'm not accusing him of anything, but I don't know. I mean, Doctor Who's always been political, as he's mentioned, so I don't see what goes on in this episode that's caused him such irritants, but yeah. So what does this bode for the future of Doctor Who and the new season, which will begin next year following these 3 specials and a Christmas special introducing Gatwa properly? It's difficult to say, but let's hope that the imminent appearance of Neil Patrick Harris as classic villain the Toymaker in the 3rd and final special will really kickstart the new era with a bang. So yeah, it's a shame, but that review just really isn't very positive. We've got one glowing review and one quite negative review, but yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below of these 2 reviews, and let me know what you're hoping for, because I'm still really optimistic. I'm mainly trusting review number 1, and I love Russell T Davies' writing, so I'm assuming whether everyone likes it, I don't know, but I probably will, and that's enough for me. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, you know the drill. I've got a Doctor Who fan film thing coming out on the 23rd, so turn on the notification bell to make sure you don't miss that. This has been a relatively long video, so I'll bring it to a close, but thank you for watching, and goodbye.